Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's going on there, Mr. Stroter? How are you?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Hey, what's up? Where you at, dude? That's not your normal background.
I'm down here in Columbus, Ohio at the Jesse Owens Memorial Track. Brought some young men down here from the area that are at the Ohio State camp right now, trying to create an opportunity for themselves. One of them happens to be your nephew. What are you doing? Been a
Man,
long time.
I know it's been a while, man. I got a new show out called Deli Boys on Hulu.
We're here to meet with the proprietor of this esteemed establishment.
I know who you are. You guys are legends around these parts.
Hey, it ain't easy, Pimp, but we out here.
I've been doing
Congratulations.
a bunch of press for that, dude. I came to the city. I saw you out there training my nephew.
What's up, everybody? We out here Wednesday morning at the park in the sand pit. We probably is going to be the top player in his class. What year is this? 2026. Yeah. So this dude is going to be the best defensive end in 2030. He going to earn it today. He going to earn it today. 2030, remember the name. In 2028.
We went up to Northwestern camp.
Back out. We go. Good, better. Good shit.
Just a lot. It's been a lot since what was the last thing we dropped? What, episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2. And now we're talking about the PodCumentary.
The PodCumentary. Man, okay. So with the PodCuDoc, man, we gave a brief history of the surrounding area of King High School, and we ended off merging the drill era with the Obama era. The Obama Center is coming to open it up this week, man.
Juneteenth. Get your sweet tea.
The Obama Center is opening up this week, man. A lot of stuff happening in Chicago. A lot of stuff happening, and I think we should use this episode kind of to just this PodCuDoc to kind of close out the history of King, of our history at King, bringing us into this modern era of King. We can speak on that later, but I got some footage.
We got the whole whip here. Everybody, Martez, CJ in the building, young Jack Ramsey in the building. Got Big Miles in the building. Jeffrey Allen in the building.
Jack Ramsey, can we get
the top
preseason top 3?
The top quarterback for the class of 08. Young Jack. They lied.
Can we get a preseason top 3 Jack Ramsey? We got to hit it. What's the preseason top 3? Your top 3 schools.
I ain't got a top 3 yet. I got one yet.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Man, look at the camera, man. Look at the ball. Go to
Ohio State. Right. Illinois. Right. Virginia Tech. T-Tech. Or Michigan. Need one more. Miami always sound good, but that sounds good. So who would you say the best quarterback between John Elway and Joe Montana? John Elway. Michael Vick or Vince Young? Michael Vick. Matt Leinart or anybody? Hey, man. I go with Vince Young over Matt. You go with Vince Young over Matt Leinart? Yeah. What would you say separate Vince Young game from Matt Leinart? His speed, his skill, that 4-4. Yeah.
versatility.
He's versatile.
Yeah. All right, now we got Martez Wilson always looking at his body and shit.
I mean, he's game, man.
I'm going to Notre Dame.
Going to Notre Dame.
Not right now.
Appreciate you. That's too much pressure, coach.
Too much pressure. Yeah. I mean, I'm still narrowing it down.
Right. You got.
But I mean, when the white man asked you for a top 3, you spit it right out. But because the brothers asked you for a top 5.
Oh, damn. I told it that.
Come on, coach.
Did I tell you about that white shit in your mouth before you do interviews? Always check your lips.
You got it too.
I know, but I ain't on camera. Don't get on camera. All right, goddamn.
Miami, you want to say something, man? I ain't got you on the one-on-one interview yet.
305, man. Dade County.
All day.
You run it, you know what I'm saying? Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Hey, this bum ass dog. Rick Ross.
Man, we doing it, man.
Rip it.
MP the future, you know what I'm saying?
No.
That's the other future right here.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Meon.
It's the future.
We make it up, you know what I'm saying? We gonna lock him up.
No.
It's
Hold on.
He ran. God damn! Wait a minute.
Hey, dude! Cut your arm off.
When this thing come from down there, it's gonna be coming. It's coming. Oh my. That was looking like a pond. So you scared? Uh-oh.
Oh, you can put in the shirt.
Okay, I thought so.
Oh, yeah. It's alright.
You thought so.
I want you to speak on what were those Saturday sessions like? What was the start of that? How did that come about?
The Saturday sessions for me were an opportunity to bridge the gap between King College Prep and the established programs that did not have to transition from general enrollment high schools to a college preparatory school, which meant we were getting guys that did not play football in the grammar school, and we were competing and wanted to compete against, as I mentioned, with Coach Tremaine, we wanted to compete against, whoever the best teams were in CPS, and in fact the area, but CPS would have been that first group. So the Saturday session covertly was an opportunity for the student athletes at King College Prep to be exposed to the student athletes that came from more dominant programs at that time, the Morgan Parks, the Hubbards, and the Simeons.
That's the only thing I can rely on right now. Come on, Sip. Be all the way.
Sip, get that.
Oh, shit. Hey, we go home.
We can't end it like that. You can't end it like that. No, we can't end it like that. Hey, we ain't end it like that. I got it.
Damn. That's y'all boy. Hey, that's Sip. King. That's Sip from King.
After we ran with y'all.
I just deal with the coach.
Stay down there.
Oh, stay down there.
Hey, you look back too early.
Hey, that's it, man.
Man, no. DB's winning.
They race that shit.
Alright, let me talk to you.
Tell us about what just happened, man. Tell us a little bit about what just took place.
He looked back too soon. He could have did better.
His technique was burned up.
It was a little burned up.
Fucked up, not burn up. Fucked up. I look back too soon.
He looked back too soon, but he'll be alright.
And then what happened after the sun went in your eyes?
Man, one more.
And I used the Saturday workout to demystify those programs, and it ended up working because, when you look at, that footage, those are the best players at Simeon, and we ended up beating them. I want to say that
that was the year we put them out the playoffs.
You got something for the camera? You gonna put something on my tape?
I got you.
That's what I'm talking about. No doubt. Baby Bo Jackson in the building. Bo. Bo Jackson is part too. Grown man in the building. Grown ass man in the building.
Man, don't get me, you might put me on eBay or something, man.
Oh, girl, something in that little room. I don't know.
We knocked them out the playoffs, and they had 3 or 4 players that were Division I guys. And the reason we were able to do that is those Saturday morning workouts demystified who they were, and that was the first time that King College Prep had beat a Simeon, I think, and that was 2007 or 6 when we beat them. Yeah, that I don't think, the old man had beat them since 89 or something like that, 88 or 89, maybe even 87. And I want to say, Miles, I want to show you something. While I am at The Ohio State University, I want to double flex. This here is the Ohio State Award that I won in 1994 for documentary work. I want everybody to see it.
Wow. So you're at Ohio State with your mentees at a football camp, and you brought the award, the Ohio State Award,
Yes,
with you.
yes. I'm going to stop by the School of Communications that gave me this award in 1994, and I'm going to flex a little bit because there's no coach in the history of American football that can come to The Ohio State and have the Ohio State Award. So I'm flexing because there are a lot of haters. There are a lot of haters.
Man,
I've accrued a lot of haters in my career, but this right here, I want them to explode. I want them to
hey,
spontaneously combust.
hey, hey, in the past month, man, I've had some people tell me that I shouldn't even be talking to you, brother.
And they might be right, Miles. They might be right, but they might not be right today. They might not be right today.
Man, with that given, you said the Saturday program demystified those big programs that was leading to CPS, and we ended up going deep in the playoffs and beating Simeon, putting those guys that you
And then
seen
we
on the
lost, we lost the next game when I asked you, did you ever have to practice against a team you played in a playoff game? And we beat Simeon,
No,
and
we
then
lost to Hubbard.
we lost to Hubbard. Either way,
That was the
but
year
remember,
prior.
yeah, but remember Hubbard. We practiced against Hubbard at North Central, and we got beat not because we should have been beat. We got beat because the moment was too big for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Also, I kind of want to touch on other alumni that went to King. Michael Clark Duncan. He was a big alumni from King. He came back and was the principal of the day when I was a student at King, and that's what kind of got my wheels turning about becoming an actor. I remember telling him, like, "Dang, man, I want to be an actor." He was like, "Man, you can't be an actor because if you would be an actor, then I wouldn't have no roles." And so it's interesting. He passed away, I think, like 2012.
And the unfortunate part about Michael Clark Duncan, you would think that, I had a movie on Showtime that came out in '03, which was actually before Michael Clark Duncan ended up doing the Green Mile. And, I want Humanitas and things like that. So it's just unfortunate. I never got the opportunity to meet Mr. Duncan, heard a lot about him, but it's just unfortunate that, we were both King alumni. We both had, and really all three of us may be the most successful, alumni in CPS that come from the same school when it comes to, working in Hollywood. I've greenlighted projects with Spike Lee, but it's not something, I guess because we're Jaguars, we don't talk about it, but there's no school that has three,
It would be one person that would be able to bridge that gap, and he just dropped the ball.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Now I want to move on. Speaking of dropping the ball, young man Ray Brown. We spoke on the drill movement, and man, I got a clip also of Ray Brown.
No limit pistol P, y'all don't gonna catch this one time.
Pistol Pete.
Check it out.
Get into it.
Double cover that perp, nigga. Switch a field with that packy out.
Yeah.
Pistol P, I'm in the streets. If I catch a op, I'll blow him down. No limit. 150, Savage Squad, Tony Parker, bitch, I'm ballin' hard. Smoking dope until I reach the stars. Bitches eat me like a Snicker bar. Gucci belt on my Chewy jeans, I be killing beats overseas. Pull up and I finesse. Dead prez in my pockets, I be stretching hoes like stockings. Put the game on lock like a locksmith. Dragon breath, I spit hot shit. Thought the honest be jocking me. Don't wanna fuck, just Tommy P's. Foreign cars and bad bitches. Is the life a luxury? Killing beats to the first degree. I smoke a op like a blunted weed. Got my neck and wrist like a hockey rink. Got a yellow bone but a pussy pink. I'm a bitch, pardon me, and there's no limit over everything. Got a chokehold on this rap shit like a nigga was wrestling. I live my life like a movie scene. Got a lot of shooters like the fucking Knicks. Getting money out these pounded bricks. Smoking ganja like a Rasta bitch.
I remember the last time I saw Ray Brown, I was with you. And he had just mentioned getting out of prison. He had did like a couple years in prison for some bad stuff, and he was just like how hopeful he was and how excited he was to see us. Man, Coach Big Miles, hey man, hey I'm out, but man, I got two shorties, just rappers, man. They coming, they hot, they next up, man. There's no limit, man. There's a watch out for G Herbo and Lil Bibby, man. Them my little niggas, man. And I'm like, man, he's excited, dog. That's dope.
Yeah,
And
I mean, when we saw him, what did we see him on? What's that with the
exchange,
train? The
yeah,
exchange, yeah.
exchange.
And he said he got caught, quote, I got caught with a pipe, unquote. And what's sad about
Give me a background on Ray Brown.
Ray Brown, I want to say was probably from the second or third class in the King College Prep, and he ended up playing football, was a defensive back. So I got the opportunity to coach when he was a freshman. I saw a lot of upside in Ray Brown. He was really tough, but unfortunately, he was kicked off the team. He got kicked off the team by Coach Sean Williams. Coach Sean Williams, wanted him removed from the team, and I don't understand why he felt it was so important to kick a young man off the team that he didn't coach, but he did. And yeah, and it's unfortunately it led to both of their demise. Coach Williams kicked, Ray Brown off of the team, and 3 years later he got caught for robbing a bank, and spent the rest of his life in prison and passed away. So I always felt like that was a karma situation because I thought as coaches our job is to build and mold young men irrespective of who they are. We coach and we develop them for who we want them to be. And for, Coach Sean, God rest his soul, I think in his last days, he saw the error in his ways. And, it was sad that, the day I saw Ray Brown a couple of hours before he was murdered. I saw him walking down Yates. And, it's sad because, he's a young man that had a lot of upside. And like you said, he had a lot of relationships with those young men and ended up being, part of the drill movement. And,
Man, he was a leader. He took some of
yeah.
those skill sets that he learned on the football team and took them to the streets, and
And
that's what.
just imagine that if Ray Brown was one of those guys, he would have never let us lose to a team like Hubbard. He was a fire starter, and you need guys like that, but you want to have them in structure. And once he was kicked off King College Prep football
He
team,
became Pistol Pete.
he became Pistol Pete. And it's funny because I saw the BBC piece that he was mentioned in. And
on July the 3rd, 2013, around 6:50 p.m. on the 2400 block of East 79th Street, a male gunman would hop out of the green car, shooting Pistol P in the back as he ran. Pistol P, real name Rayford Brown, collapsed on the 7900 block of South Phillips Avenue and would sadly later die in Northwestern University Medical Center.
And it's crazy because, I was the guy that brought the BBC to Chicago. I actually reported for the BBC before I ran for United States Senate, and I turned down the opportunity to have eventually evolved into a correspondent for the BBC because I ran for United States Senate for Obama's seat in 2010, I believe it was, or 11.
Wow, man, that's the connectivity is insane. It's insane. But they say everything happens for a reason. But like we said, the hottest rapper out of Chicago right now from the drill movement is G Herbo, Little Herb. His first project was called the Pistol P Project, and it's a picture of Ray Brown with his gun facing the screen like that, and that's how he got his fame. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but man, it's really interesting. Like you said, the BBC reported on his death.
Yeah, I mean, imagine the BBC reporting on the death, which is, hey, the BBC has 90 million, over 90 million people that, listen and watch the BBC on a daily basis. And Ray Brown was a featured discussion in that, and his coach, who coached him, was featured by the BBC, and he ended up being featured posthumously by the BBC. So it's sad because he has so much more promise and just unfortunate. I wish the outcome could have been better. I mean, I think that's why I'm here today, in the spirit of somebody like Ray Brown, to make sure young men who deserve an opportunity get an opportunity. And, you make the sacrifices like getting up at 3:30 in the morning to make a 6-hour drive to Columbus, Ohio to make sure young men have an opportunity so that they know that there's something more out there and something bigger to be here at Jesse Owens Track. And I sent you the picture of Ralph Metcalf, former congressman of the 1st Congressional District, who ran in 1932 with Jesse Owens when they defeated the Nazis on the track and field. And Ralph Metcalf was the 1st Congressional District congressman, which King High School is in the 1st Congressional District. And we're here at the Jesse Owens Track in Columbus, Ohio. So, that's why you put in the work. There are people out here right now running on this track because they're committed to it. And it's, sports has a place in our society, and especially within the African American community.
With the next phase of the Deprogram, we'll catch you guys up of what's been going on, what LeAlan has going on. We're talking about recruiting in the modern NIL era, training and developing. I saw you on a podcast, a church podcast. What was that?
Well, I ended up working with a young man several years ago who was a football player for a program in the South suburbs, and very unique situation. But nonetheless, since I worked with him when he was 8th grade, maintained that relationship, and the mother invited me to his graduation celebration, and there I was able to meet the apostle who, has been a mentor and been a spiritual counselor for that family. And we were finally able to meet because the mom had recruited him and brought me into her son's life for the outcome. And we finally got to talk, and I actually got to go out there, and, he wanted me to interview me on their podcast. And, it was a, really unique opportunity to talk about mentorship.
Would you mind if I roll some of that footage?
Oh, without a doubt. I certainly have no problem with that.
All right. So we're going to leave you guys with this footage. I'll talk to you next time on the Deprogram.
His name is LeAlan. LeAlan Jones. I want you to remember that name. Giving y'all enough time to share it. Go share it with somebody, with your friends, your families, and let them know what's happening. All right, here he is when he was 13 years old. Go ahead, media department, go ahead and share it.
A few days ago, one of broadcasting's most prestigious honors, the Peabody Awards, were presented for excellence in television and radio programs. So who won? Not ABC's 2020, not NBC's Nightly News with Tom Brokaw, not even 60 Minutes. 2 Chicago ghetto kids won.
I'm gladly to accept this award.
LeAlan Jones and Lloyd Newman for a National Public Radio documentary they produced on something terrible that happened in their own backyard.
Lloyd Newman with NPR. We'd like to ask you a few questions about Eric Morse.
Eric Morse was the subject of their radio documentary. Eric Morse, a 5-year-old, murdered in a Chicago ghetto.
What is your relationship to Eric Morse?
He my cousin.
You know the guys that did it?
Yeah, and he go to our school too, and I beat him up about 5 times.
You beat him up for what?
For killing my cousin.
The guys that did it were 2 little boys themselves, a 10 and an 11-year-old. LeAlan Jones was not surprised.
I mean, if you look down here, these kids aren't scared of dying. They're not scared of dying, and they're not scared about taking your life.
Why?
Survival. In certain situations, it's going to have to be my life or your life. And
even for someone 10 years old?
They saw, I believe one of them saw someone who got shot not 10 feet away from them.
Lloyd and LeAlan grew up in the same projects as Eric's killers. Who better to tell the story?
They dangled him from up there?
Yeah, they dangled him from up there, and he fell right here, this area over here.
This was 30 years ago. So it hasn't stopped. 30 years ago, those were projects that this happened. There's no more projects. Those same little kids now are the 30 and 40-year-olds that live in the Southland area, because everybody who was in the projects moved out into the suburbs. Now, we have someone here that was the interviewer. At the time, he was about 13, 14 years old. But we have LeAlan here in person. Come on, let's put our hand together for LeAlan. All right. Who was beyond his time. You were beyond your time doing that interview. Because I've never seen a young man like you asking the most poignant questions, and then getting the right answers from the little kid. Now I want to ask you a question, LeAlan. Is that you still be in contact with the kid you were interviewing?
I think I'm in contact with most people on Facebook, like everybody else, if they can be in contact with.
Right. So if they're available for you, they'll talk to you.
They're on Facebook. I mean, the funny thing about training student athletes is that I'm actually running into people that I grew up with who want me to train their kids.
Wow. So we're going to get into that, your
Yes.
training, but I wanted to just, that right there took a whole lot. You got a Peabody Award?
Yes. I'm the
Wow.
youngest Peabody Award winner there is.
The only one, right?
Youngest. I mean,
Youngest.
The youngest person prior to us was Ryan White, who had died of AIDS, I want to say, in the late 80s. early
Right,
90s.
exactly.
So we were younger than him. And I was younger than Lloyd because Lloyd passed away year before last from sickle cell.
Really?
Yes, he passed away 2 years ago.
So you were passionate about, as I forget her name, but she's still on 60 Minutes.
Leslie Stahl.
Leslie Stahl. All right,
Yeah.
she looked totally different now. But anyway, the ghetto, she called it the ghetto, you know.
Yes.
So you had a passion for the ghetto. How did you get inspired to do that?
My grandmother and my grandfather were my legal guardians. I was raised in the church. My grandmother was the president of the local school council all the periods that I grew up, even until she passed away, being the guardians for my nephew and a little cousin. She was very passionate about the community, and she stayed in the community. You know, my great-great-grandmother bought the house I was raised in the 30s because she was one of the first black women to work at the post office. So they were in the community when it was a working class, middle class community. Then when the housing projects were built, they stayed during that period. You know, this is when the El Rookers were there.
Right.
This is when it was at its heyday. So essentially, that documentary, a lot of people don't know, that documentary in 1996, really 94, when we did Ghetto Life in 94, was an update on the 1960s, 1968, the Moynihan Report.
Right, exactly. I
So
remember that one.
the radio documentary we did was essentially an update of the Moynihan Report from the 1960s.
Wow. And then from there, you kind of, really learned what you wanted to do. There's a scripture that says when Jesus saw Peter and John, he said that when he chose them, I put the scripture up there. I want you all to see this for a moment. And when Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee, the Bible says that he saw two brethren, Simon, Peter, and Andrew the brother, casting the net into the sea. Here's an important word right here. It says, for they were fishers. But go to the next verse. Here's what's important. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That right there is really an apostolic term because Jesus bypassed the churches or the synagogue, they were called back then, and he went straight to where the people were because he knew he had to fulfill his mission based upon getting people into the understanding that they had to be followers of him. I believe that you have that same mandate on, and there's a couple of people like Brother Tremaine is going to come. Some people's pulpit is bigger than the church pulpit. Come on, let's give God praise for that. You are reaching people, and I want people to hear about what you do right now, because one of the things you do is training. The second is you mentor.
Mentor first.
That's a mentorship first. That's what this segment is about. It's about mentorship. So you being in that young man's life, okay, helped you to be now 30 years later. Now you are a mature man, yes. All right? And you're still reaching back. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Let me go frame this a little bit differently. When I have to look at 60 Minutes or reminded of what happened to Eric Morris at 5 years old, it's a lot different reporting on it at 17 or 18 years old when you were a father of an 8-year-old.
Yes.
And I just got his test scores. My son is reading 53 points above the national median, and he's about another 30 points above the median in math.
Come on, let's put our hands together for that. You started at home first.
Yeah, but that's what makes it important. So for me, I didn't grow up with my father. I grew up with my grandfather.
Right.
And so for me, coaches were very important in my life because that's where I wanted to learn to become a fisher. I mean, I grew up right there on 39th Street next to the lake.
Right.
So you have a lot of ambition. There were 4 churches on my block, Holy Angels.
Yeah.
With Father George Clemens.
Yeah.
So I grew up, right next to the Center for Inner City Studies with Don Bailey and Dr. Conrad Worwell, and all of those black luminaries would literally walk in there and I could see them on my front porch. So my block, doing Bud Billiken, is the block that
That's
all
the block.
the dignitaries
We used to go there, right?
Yeah, all the dignitaries come down Oakwood. So, growing up at 644 East Oakwood, I had a very keen understanding of the heritage of the community and what was important in the community. My grandmother went to Phillips.
Wow.
So, when you understand the history of, talking about Sam Cooke,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
The history of the community, you just like, wow, I don't have to leave.
But you absorbed it. The information you was getting, you absorbed it.
Yeah, and
you were interested in it.
synthesized it.
Yes,
And what
exactly.
happens is, by getting the opportunities I got early to do radio documentaries and journalism,
Right.
and those experience of people I met, people presume what you should be. And a lot of people looked at me, they thought, wow, I can go into broadcasting, right?
Mhm.
Because I had such a big opportunity. I've won and there's no journalist in Chicago that you watch on TV at night that has my resume as a journalist.
Wow.
Not
Come
one.
on, you all. Let's put our hand together for that.
I mean, seriously, when you look at the evening news, if you go look at my Wikipedia page, there's nobody on the evening news, black, white, Asian, or indifferent, that has my resume. And I've had that resume since I was 18 years old. So can you imagine that? So what happens is, when you're an adolescent like that, something exposes itself, and it's adult's fragility. If you go look at my Wikipedia page, there's nobody on the evening news, black, white, Asian, or indifferent, that has my resume. And I've had that resume since I was 18 years old. So can you imagine that? So what happens is, when you're an adolescent like that, something exposes itself, and it's adult's fragility.
Say that one more time.
Adult fragility.
Adult fragility.
Yes, I've had to deal with adult fragility really since I was about 13 years old, because you can't get opportunities like that and not have people that are in the profession that are not going to feel a certain kind of way when, as a 13-year-old.
But see, the thing is, 13, you didn't let that intimidate you.
I mean, not till today. I like intimidating them. That's why I said what I said.
That's what I'm talking about. You have discovered what your purpose was.
Yeah, but then, I mean, some people thought, well, it should be political. And I did do political. I ran for U.S. U.S. Senate.
U.S. Senate, yeah.
After Barack Obama. I ran for Congress after Jesse Jackson stepped down the first time. So I had all of these experiences to get to a point of deduction and what mattered to me. And I didn't know what mattered to me until my grandmother passed away, and I had a cousin and a nephew, and I had just graduated college, and my grandmother was dying. And on her deathbed, I'm like, my movie had just came out. The book had just got turned into a movie, and I was supposed to go to L.A. And I just graduated college, and my grandmother says, hey, I'm not going to be here, and I'm going to need you to raise these young men, because she was their guardian, and she was, 78, 79 years old.
So she was telling you this while your book deal turned into
dude,
a movie.
I had a billboard on Sunset Boulevard in L.A.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sitting there at Sundance Film Festival with Roger Ebert and Richard Roper. It got 2 thumbs up. The network executives at Showtime wanted me to move to L.A., and I actually went there and worked on one project with Spike Lee, but I couldn't stay in L.A. because my grandfather and all of the family was still, and so the same circumstances that you saw in 60 Minutes, my success had allowed me to get out of it. I wouldn't even say success, my opportunity,
right?
But there was no way I could stay out there and knowing that the responsibility.
Totally unselfish, though. That's what I'm
but
talking
you
about.
have to. My name is LeAlan,
Right.
You don't find that name. Lee is for Lee Eric Jones, and Alan Leslie Jones. Those were my 2 uncles that passed away before I was born. Alan died in 68. Baby Lee died in 75, 74. So my mother, who was the little sister, when she was pregnant, she named me after her brothers as a gift back to her mother.
Wow.
And my middle name is Marvin for Marvin Gaye. So essentially, my entire name is...
So it meant a lot to you. Those
Yes.
names, you embraced it.
You have to.
You valued it.
You have to.
Right. And so that was the reason why you made the decision, say, hey, I could put that on the back burner. My grandmother's more important.
Fate determines character, as I've read. And so no matter what, when I went to Florida State, many people said that I should have gone Ivy League. I mean, I could have gone to Ivy League and had the resume that people covet. And by carrying my own voice, at that point at 30 years old, I had basically uningratiated myself to the establishment. You got to think, Toni Preckwinkle was my alderman in the 4th Ward when I did that documentary. She got me a proclamation from the city of Chicago when I was...
30 years ago, she did.
Yeah, she got me a proclamation. And if I see her now, she wouldn't even recognize my face.
But have you ever been to any one of the meetings?
I don't want to be around any of them. I mean, I'm really disgusted.
Did you hear what I say now? That's what I'm talking about.
I'm at a point now where I don't respect any of them.
Right.
And then when you come to a point of not respecting people, it's no reason
it's
to
not
be
personal,
in the space. It's not personal.
Right, but it's just the way it's
you
not.
waste
It doesn't
a lot
feed don't feed your appetite.
You waste a lot of time. It's almost like now. I met, Mr. Obama at a very early part of his career.
Yes.
Okay? So for me to have had direct discussions with Mr. Obama and to see what has occurred in post-Obama is disgusting.
I know.
It's disgusting. Think about this. Housing has been a challenge in Chicago for black people going back to the 1930s and 1920s. It's documented through University of Chicago research. It is still a problem today. Housing, simple housing. Jesus was a carpenter.
Preach.
If Jesus was a carpenter and you got all of these Christians in Cook County, housing should not be an issue.
Shouldn't be an issue.
So so money ain't an issue for housing either.
Right.
If you just spent almost $1 billion on the Obama Center.
Exactly.
So I posted something on Facebook. Every homeless person in Chicago should look at the Obama Center as their new luxury residence. If you homeless in Cook County, go pitch your tent at the Obama Center where the community organizer used to be.
No, that's real talk.
Because that's real. Somebody that said they were a community organizer, and can't nobody say that there's organization in this community.
So now, do you think that's planned?
Totally planned. That's how I know.
That's
You
how
can
know.
go look at the research. If you go look at The Black Metropolis, the book that was published by Sinclair Drake, they talk about what was needed. They were overrun by black people that were escaping the South in the 1930s. That's what created the housing issue. And they knew, think about it this way. I just look at it very simple. The first congressional district where you get the first black congressman after Reconstruction with Oscar DePriest.
Yeah.
How do you keep a black
Did you ever meet him?
Oh, come on, I'm too young to have met that man. But what I'm saying, the history of it is that how do you keep a first congressional district of all black people? You have to keep them in that first congressional district. So not only was it white people that wanted to make sure people didn't leave out of the first congressional district, it was the black politicians that needed them to stay there. That's why you get the housing projects that went vertical as opposed to getting the housing integration throughout the entire county. So black people have been sold out politically, very tangibly, for the last 100 years in Cook County.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
But
yeah,
it's not so much. It's not so much because if you think about it, what I'm doing right now is what wasn't done.
That's
back
what
then.
I'm talking. That's what I'm saying. This is where I want to really pick up the conversation, because you're not just talking about it, because a lot of people are talking about the situation, talking about the problem. There's a few people that are trying to do something about it, but you're in the trenches. You're dealing with the parents, and you're dealing with the students,
grandparents. All of it.
So tell me a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and conclude it. Tell us a little bit of the lack of support that you have when it comes to you putting 100% of effort into a child and you get 30% of effort from the parents.
Not even the parents, the whole institutions. It's
Okay.
the schools. It's everybody has become profitable off of a poverty mentality.
Everything, that's right.
And so you can go into the schools. A lot of these educators have gotten all of these degrees, but they can't direct anything. And so when you go in there and you say, well, right now, when it comes to sports, you mentioned a young man I work with that's going to go to the University of Notre Dame. That kid was unranked last year as a football player, and then he hit the highest ranking this year, and now he'll be going to Notre Dame, where they're paying college athletes now 6 figures to 7 figures a year to play college sports. So if you are a parent or a grandparent and you have a child that is playing in sports, even if they're playing grammar school sports,
Right.
this is now workforce development. This is no longer sports.
Do you feel that Stephen A. Smith had a lot to do with that?
I think Clarence Thomas had a lot to do with that on the Supreme Court when he broke down the fact that student athletes should be getting paid if college
Because they prostitute them anyway.
and because college coaches are making 5 to 10, and people don't
Right.
know that Clarence Thomas brought that law through the Supreme Court because they just want to be upset about things, and that's why being educated as opposed to being indoctrinated is important.
Education is the key, right?
It is important, because think about it right now in Thornton Township, between your high schools, there is probably $1 billion of talent in Thornton Township that will go unrealized because you have people that don't have a time value model. So if I go talk to a high school coach, which I did in this community 4 weeks ago, I walked into the practice and I observed talent, right? That coach doesn't want to talk back to me because I don't have any emotional, I'm not going to have an emotional discussion with you when the time has to create value. Me and your emotions should not undermine a process where time creates value. And that's what happens in the black community with politicians, with luminaries. If you tell them, I'm not going to allow you to waste my time creating value, you offend them. I don't.
They close the door on you.
They'll close the door. So what will I do? I know that all I have to do is build a client base, and I have a diverse client base now.
You got a diverse one, I know.
You build a diverse client base, and you can subsidize working with the people that you want to work with to help. However,
and so your conversation, because you're bilingual, you could be able to talk to any group.
Listen,
and I like that. I saw you moving at that party.
It's great, man. Like I said, again, let me remind everybody to all of those people who like
They say a
having
lot
commentary.
of people don't like you, brother.
A lot, and this is why I think it is. Just look at this. There is no coach in American history of any sport that could come to the Ohio State University. Boy, you just made my heart stop, young man. I didn't.
That niggas is big mad.
If you have one of these, you wouldn't be mad. You would not be mad. You would show more respect.
The word is deference.
Yeah, show more respect when you speak my name, because this is why you're upset. This is why you're upset. You're upset because look at the year on that, 1994, right? This
And
is
where are you at? And what year is this now?
It is, if you didn't know, this is the year
of our Lord.
At Anno Domini 2026. So this means that for a long, long time, LeAlan Jones has been making impacts. And I want to make
That's
sure
the goal. That should be
goal.
everyone's goal.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure before we leave, I want to say rest in peace to my frat brother Spencer Lee. Your family, right? Great man, great family, a jewel of the South Side of Chicago. And, I just want to say, I don't do this work. I've done all I can do for LeAlan Jones. This is about everybody else. And so we're going to talk more about that. And, and I appreciate everybody that, has supported us so far in terms of liking or subscribing or recommending it, because we just want to have an authentic discussion, and we have the credibility to have the discussion. Miles Stroter, he started this off talking about the fact that he right now, is a working actor and has a program on Hulu.
Tony, can you get some muscle out to the country house within the hour? And then let's get 7 on a plane to Paris tomorrow.
Got it. What's up?
I had no choice. I have to hand Lucky over to that talking jar of mayonnaise. She is going to butcher me and my daughter when she finds out.
Oh, definitely. She scares me.
I'll stall Chadwater until 7 is on that plane.
Sorry you gotta send your lady to prison. Relationships are tough.
Relationships are tough. They're really hard. Oh, well.
Right? You know, that just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. And it happens when you have humility. I mean, nobody knows that we were at the Northwestern camp, that you had to leave early with your nephew because you had to go do a video shoot with Rod Wave, right? Nobody, you know, we're not high school football coaches. You know, we would love to work. If you're a high school football coach, just be a high school football coach, right?
So we can just do what we like to do.
Just do what you do. I mean, we can do football coaching, but we do other things too. You can't compete with people that have diversity. And I look forward to having some very in-depth discussion about CPS football coming up and talking about King College Prep, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. King College Prep has never had more Division I players, and I want to say congratulations to Coach Assad, you know, for what he's doing at that program. But you know, if you got Division I players, you better beat CPS teams. You better beat it, because it's about winning games. The scoreboard, the scoreboard don't.
Simeon is on their schedule this year, man, for the first time since we beat them.
Yes, and we're gonna have a real frank discussion about how a Morgan Park alum became the head coach of King College Prep because of being a Julian Jaguar descendant. And that just shows you the level of disrespect that we as King High School alum are subjected to because of poor leadership and leadership that really has to be brought to task when you consider that as King College alum, Prep, Bronzeville, whether it's Forestville or any of that, right? We're one of the only alumni groups that doesn't control its school. And I think it's a reason for that. And I think we want to put that out there because I mean, I'm happy with what King College Prep football is doing, but I don't want it to be mistaken that, you know, the person that's running that program has no roots within the program, even though he's doing some things that I think are fundamentally sound. But you know, it is not what Black and Gold is about. It's you know, it's turned into a testimony for CPS, not those young men like me and you that, you know, that sweat and bled for King football. And right now, if we wanted to help the program, we couldn't do anything because our time wasn't valued by anyone, not even the person that we played for.
Man, we're gonna leave it at that, man. Hey.
No, I'm gonna leave it at this.
Yeah.
So when you speaketh the nameth of LeAlan, Marvius, Jonius, know that if you are coaching football, you can't compete with somebody that has this. It says from the School of Communications at Ohio State, which means I'm a highly effective communicator. So no matter what I do, you have to reach my highest branch while you're at your lowest branch. God bless you. My many, many unknowledgeable critics, you have to do research before you have criticism. God bless you.
Hey, man, take care, man. Take care of my nephew, man.
Oh, without a doubt. Let me go in here and check on him.
All right, dude.